welcome to techPLUS right here on E-Radio. It's always good to be with you. And Kaine, welcome back to the studio.
Thanks so much, Eon. Great to be back. I mean, January's really kicking off with tech, eh? I mean, people are not waiting around for middle of the year. They're just kind of diving straight into the biggest and baddest advancements that they can make as soon as possible. You know, try and capture the year on a good start.
Did you know January is so long you can use it for 3 months bank statement? I saw that joke somewhere the other day. It feels like right because we spend all our money in December and then January is just really slow.
Yeah, no,
Hey?
you spend your money in December.
Yeah.
I woke up in Jan crawling, not running.
Yeah. And then also, if you're on our Facebook page right now, you'll see Kaine wearing his brand new shirt, his brand new E-Radio shirt.
Yeah,
Kaine, it
these
looks
are
nice,
awesome.
eh?
No, they're awesome. I really like them, especially that they're like, you know, black with the white logo.
Black, that's
and
it.
it's just striking.
Yeah, look at you, man. You look good in it. I just posted the photo on our Facebook page.
I will put it on my Insta.
Yes, but you must wear it every week when you come, eh?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, we have to. We're also going to put some video together probably of while we're in the studio.
And then the signage is also very, very nice.
Yeah.
We just
amazing.
posted that guy on the design. I gave him a name. His name is Joseph.
Joseph,
Yes. So he's gonna, or you can call him Josie if you like.
the E-Radio mascot.
No, Aqua is our E-Radio mascot.
Oh, yeah. No,
He's just a dude.
Josie. What's his name?
Joseph.
Joseph from Josie.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's so nice and very, very pleased. Big thanks and massive shout out to Media Hype 3D. We posted their details on our Facebook page as well right now if you want to go and check out. They do amazing corporate branding, graphic design, signage needs. We also got stickers. Kane's going to pimp his car with our stickers. And I think the next thing we need is probably some cups.
Yeah.
You know, some coffee cups.
Cups, mugs, hoodies, hats, gloves. You know.
There you go. There you go.
The whole 9 yards. But they did a proper good job with this.
The quality is stunning. I mean, we just spoke about it, and you said you can actually see the guy's paws.
Yeah.
That's how good the quality is.
And I mean, it's what, 2 meters almost tall.
Yeah, it's quite tall, very tall.
To
eh?
have a high quality photo at that size,
Exactly.
you need a professional to do
Exactly.
it properly. You know,
So
that's really good.
Massive shout out to Chanel and the team at Media Hype 3D. We're so pleased, very, very chuffed indeed.
We'll share some pictures of it.
Yes,
So everyone can see.
Yes, and now you can see Kaine on our Facebook page, on the eradiosa.com Facebook page. See him there with the sign, with Joseph. Joseph's actually looking at you, hey?
Yeah, I know. He's wondering what
Yes.
why I'm standing like
Yes.
that.
And then Kaine with his t-shirt, and look how happy he is.
Yeah, no, I love merch. I really do. Do you know what else I love? When I hear that Disney Plus is coming to South Africa.
I saw that this week, and I'm so excited, but I'm wondering how much it's going to cost. Do you know already?
Well, I've done a fair amount of research, and obviously it was Disney Plus. Now, here's the interesting thing: Disney Plus was released in about 11 countries in total, versus Netflix, which is quite more global. And Netflix has about 280 million subscribers, and Disney Plus has about 111 million subscribers. So this process of launching in South Africa is actually not just for South Africa. It's a process of launching in 42 new countries and territories at the same time,
Yeah.
in hopes of better competing against Netflix. And I'm personally quite worried for Netflix, and we'll get onto some downsides to Netflix at the moment, some turmoil that they're going through at the exact same time that Disney Plus is expanding. But I'm very interested to see how that competition weighs out, especially with 42 new countries, you know, with at least 10 million people per country possibly that can sign up. You know, you're looking at potentially overwhelming Netflix's current subscriber count, which is definitely going to affect Disney Plus's stock. Just like Netflix's stock was affected now by one of their most recent announcements. But this is funny because it's actually one of the worst kept secrets that Disney Plus is launching in South Africa. I think we've covered it a few times that we've mentioned that Disney Plus is coming here to South Africa. And Walt Disney Co. has now confirmed it's launching in South Africa this winter, and its streaming offering will launch in the local market. with those other 42 countries, such as Turkey, Poland, UAE, United Arab Emirates, and some other countries as well. In America, the cost of Disney Plus comes in at about $7.99. So call it $8 a month, which is what, about $150?
Yeah.
$140.
That makes sense, yeah.
Somewhere around there, or $79 a year, which is about $1,500, just averaging out, which not too bad. Definitely competes with Netflix. I think Netflix just raised their premium subscriptions.
Yeah, but just went up, but not the 99 package, the one from 99.
Yes.
So not the lower ends. They kept it the same.
Just the higher end.
Yeah, just the higher end, the 151. And
the funny part is I pay for the premium of premium Netflix, but I don't have any 2K or 4K TVs. I don't watch at a higher quality.
So why don't you scale down and save money, bro?
Yeah, you see, the thing is, that's the problem with me. Saving 30 Rand a month is like not on my priority list, but 30 rands is a decent amount of savings.
Yeah, if you add it up for the whole year,
Yeah, you got to change your mentality about it. But the move marks a big expansion for Disney Plus as it chases bigger rival Netflix for the global market share. Until now, Disney Plus has only been launched in 18 countries. It has 118 million subscribers as of the 2nd of October, and Netflix had 221 million subscribers as of the 31st of December. And I'll tell you why I'm excited. Obviously, the new Spider-Man has been announced to be released on Disney Plus.
Oh, okay.
But because of other licensing deals, because of Sony and Marvel and the whole shebangski, that's only going to be in 2023. So I don't know what else is on Disney Plus, to be honest. I haven't really sought after anything on Disney Plus, but I'm open to the opportunity of getting some new content, because Netflix feels like it's drying out. It really does.
Whoa, okay, it is drying out a bit, but then Ozark came to save it.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen?
I have.
The new Ozark.
So I haven't seen the new one, but I've watched the previous
Season 4 is out right now. Part 1, 7 episodes. We're waiting for the other 7 to drop. That's the final 7 forever.
Are you on number 7?
No. I watched number 5 last night.
Oh really?
Late last night.
Is it good?
Yo. I've it is so good. I actually want to join a drug cartel. Because it looks so appealing. Obviously it's not. I don't want to live every single day looking over my shoulder, but it is such a good show. I mean, Breaking Bad was exceptional.
I was just about to say, it gives you the same perspective
but
as Breaking Bad.
It's getting up there with Breaking Bad. We're talking excellent writing, the acting, my word, on Ozark. Laura Linney, who plays Wendy.
Yeah.
Ruth, the young girl with the curly hair. What a show! And what a twist! And lots of. Let me just tell you, I'm not going to do any spoilers here in case you're worried, but a lot of main characters are dying.
Really, eh?
And I think at the end of the whole show, the other 7 coming in May apparently. Nice birthday gift for me. It looks like nobody's going to be alive after it. Everybody's got to go.
Cost.
Yeah. So, but you know what? I like that, Kaine, because they kind of end it, and that's what you should do. You should end while you're on a high.
Yeah.
Not carry on like Grey's Anatomy for 30,000 seasons already.
Yeah.
And they've recycled the stuff so much that the lead actress wants out. So, yeah, go out with a bang while you're still good.
Yeah.
That's
leave
it.
them wanting more.
That's it. Leave them wanting more.
Not leave them having had enough.
Yes, exactly.
Like with Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I felt that. I don't know if you've ever watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but it starts circulating around things you didn't start watching it for.
Yes, and at the end, it becomes like Siem the Lord, running for 21 years,
Bold
now
and
almost
beautiful.
22 years on TV. And yes, some of those soapies, they out of storylines, like the one character, I think in Days of Our Lives, Marlena or something, she's possessed now. Her eyes go red and she talks in foreign languages. You see, they're going for supernatural stuff now because they run out of ideas.
They got to get creative. It's gone from like a true life drama to
it's
supernatural
ridiculous.
thriller.
So yes, like Kaine said, go out on a high while you're still good.
Talking about troublesome going out on highs, Netflix, obviously we just spoke about having a bit of trouble. So even as Netflix executives sought to reassure investors in a Thursday video interview that its long-term prospects for streaming media remain bright, with its popular series Bridgerton returning for a second season and a science fiction film starring Ryan Reynolds coming soon, which ultimately, even though those announcements happened, shares still slipped. And I'll tell you how much, which is quite alarming. By the end of the 45-minute earnings interview, Netflix stock was down more than 20%.
Ooh, damn.
20%. It's better to just not have done the interview, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Which has casted a bit of a worrisome, shadow over the entertainment industry. Wall Street analysts and the company's own executives struggled to explain why the world's dominant streaming service forecast modest growth for the first 3 months of 2022, when many had anticipated a return of predictable pre-pandemic quarterly gains. They said, it's tough to say exactly why our acquisition hasn't kind of recovered to pre-COVID levels, said Netflix CFO Spencer. It's probably a bit of just overall COVID overhang that's still happening after 2 years of a global pandemic that we're still unfortunately not fully out of. Some macroeconomic strain in some parts of the world, like Latin America in particular. And here's why I find it interesting, because they talk about pre-COVID, right? Or they as COVID struck, they actually saw monumental growth because people were forced to stay at home.
Exactly. Yeah.
More subscribers came on. And what they're saying is they're kind of saying, no, we're not really through the COVID pandemic yet. So they're not, that's why they can attribute some of the lack of growth. But in reality, being not fully out of COVID should still be driving more acquisition and more users. But I think it's also a case of individuals at Netflix are becoming bored. Not just of Netflix, but actually, this whole stay-at-home thing, scare factor. People are thriving to go out and be more active and actually commit to some sort of gathering.
We're so over it.
We're desensitizing to it, and it's on a downward trend, especially with like the curfew and especially in SA now being lifted and things like that. People aren't necessarily in this fear mode where you're just kind of bunkered at home with your 3 months worth of food supplies ready, like,
and all your toilet paper.
That's kind of a thing of the past.
No, we've had it.
So they only project 2.5 million new subscribers in January to March, and now with Disney Plus doing this big, growth stint, it's gonna be neck and neck. We might see some subscription prices drop. We're definitely gonna see them trying to better one another, try and offer more. And the thing about movie franchises, or at the very least streaming platforms, is if you're gonna go and say, okay, we have to make a bang this year, let's produce a new movie with these people. 1.5 years later it comes out. So it's difficult, and you can't just go to a movie shop, right, and go buy some movies to put on your streaming service. It has to be entertaining and new and exciting and featuring Tom Cruise and Will Smith and all of these big boy actor names. It's going to be challenging for them, and I'm really just interested to see how their growth fulfills throughout the rest of the year. Definitely.
If you just joined us, hello to you, welcome. We're talking about streaming services, and I just said to Kaine before we went to our music break, DStv-ish, it's still not looking good for them. At the moment, they're battling with developer issues on their app, their main app. And a lot of people, resort to the app because they don't want to watch on TV. So you want to go to bed with your phone or your laptop and watch DStv Now on there. Yeah. It doesn't help that everything goes black as soon as you open the app.
Really?
Right? Yep.
Is that what the issue is?
Yes, or if you change a channel or you open something on catch up, it just goes black. Like black. But I'm talking, I've got a My Box, a TV box. Yeah. And everybody with a My Box, with a TV box, is saying that, you click on whatever you want to watch, it goes black. There's not even a little circle or anything on the screen. And then your whole box freezes. You have to literally hard reset your box.
Oh no.
To undo what DStV's just done to your box.
That's the worst thing that can happen. User experience is everything.
Exactly. So you can't just press back or exit or something. Everything goes black and it freezes, like load shedding.
Like load shedding.
Yeah.
You see, the problem with that fix is that even, I was speaking to my gran the other day and I said to her, she said, I have an issue with my DStv. And it was a case of, the decoder just wasn't displaying anything. So what do you do normally if you're tech savvy? Reset everything.
That's it.
And even explaining her how to do a proper full reset, it's not worth having a call center with 50,000 calls a day coming in asking that question. That's
But Kaine, it is so bad. This app, this DStv app thing is so bad that the people are actually posting it on the reviews on their app right now, the new reviews, and their rating is dropping. But everybody's saying, wow, my app literally stopped working on my dongle, screen turns black. Somebody says the app was working perfectly before the latest update, and now it glitches and it goes black. And then somebody else says, whenever I try to switch the channel, I get a black screen. The only way is to reset everything. Everybody's experiencing the same problem. So, like you said, it's all about viewing experience. So you open the channel or the show you want to watch, and then it goes black, and then it turns into this whole inconvenient thing. Let's say you sit down with your dinner and you want to watch something. In the end, you don't want to watch it anymore because you spend so much time now on resetting the thing.
Yeah,
what's the point
totally
in it?
Not worth it?
That's not how it's supposed to be. So DStv, you need to pull up your socks because you've got massive competition. And you're not in a position to have problems like this right now.
And being speculative about it, in my own opinion, I think this is and especially when you're working with developers, problems like this usually come from lack of testing, which is actually derived from high pressure work environments, either understaffed or the expectations are too high and the pressure's building, so developers crumble under the mounting pressure,
and compatibility, I suppose, as
exactly. So developers crumble. So I'm wondering, I can imagine inside the DStv boardroom there's pressure. There's pressure being applied, and who's being applied to, because their cable satellite streaming service works. You can access DStv
that's
channels,
fine.
but they're trying to intercept the Netflix industry, and that's now.
And now the app's not working.
They're putting pressure,
and now the developers are screwing it up.
I
was flicking the developers, while I was busy with the black screen. I screw you, and I'll give them a big slap.
They take the slack of it, but it's actually
shame.
But
you're giving us a bit of a more perspective there, and I actually feel sorry for them.
Nothing is more uncomfortable for a developer than having something like this happen, where you push an update and you have critical errors, and no one comes to you once and says, why is this a problem? Every single time a bad review goes out, or a customer service line gets hit, and a superior officer has to speak to a customer, who's getting nailed? It's the developers. So if DStv is not careful and they don't treat their developers right, or they're putting them under too much pressure, they could have a scenario where the developers drop out and they're no longer interested in working on the project.
And then who's going to take over the app because they won't know what's happening? That's going to be a problem.
And having the functionality to roll an update back is so important.
But there's a solution.
What's the solution?
I found a solution after a lot of reading and stuff and researching. What you can do is update it. There's a new version out. They released it over the weekend. It's called 2.4.5, I think, so the latest one. And then if that still gives you problems, sign out, sign in again, and then reset your cache. It's in your settings on your box, so you'll reset the app's cache, all the data. Sign in again, try it. It works. It's slow, it buffers, but it works.
But for the not tech savvy individual, that's quite a process.
How to reset? Yeah, I'm going to say, how the hell do I reset the cache? Where's the cache? Show me the cache.
I don't keep any cache. I play with cards.
Yeah, exactly. So, sorry, I'll try and get an explanation for you on that. I don't know how to access the cache now. I forgot.
With January launching, these kind of things happen, where people are feeling pressure and they're trying to set expectations and close off previous years on good notes. And we see it all the time, and here we see it again with Tesla's Cybertruck. It was scheduled to be released this year, and the Tesla CEO says the Roadster has been pushed, and the Cybertruck has also been pushed until next year. The Tesla Cybertruck and Roadster will be delayed to hopefully next year, the company's CEO Elon Musk said in an earnings call on Wednesday. The announcement confirms earlier reports that the electric pickup truck would miss its earlier production date of late 2022. And the thing is, the reason behind this delay is not actually as cut and dry as you would think. Maybe they were selling a product that they weren't ready to deliver, but that's not necessarily the case right now. He went on to say that if we were to introduce new vehicles, our total vehicle output would decrease. We will not be introducing new vehicle models this year to maintain vehicle output. And it also goes on to say that when asked about what else is holding back the Cybertruck besides battery production, Musk said that the pricing and what people are willing to pay for the included tech is the main issue. He says, how do we make the Cybertruck affordable? The Cybertruck originally had a starting price of $39,900 at its unveiling event in 2019. Musk was also asked about the availability of a $25,000 electric car, which is a price bracket which they're not currently supporting. And he said, we are not currently working on a $25,000 car. Musk has been promising a low-cost Tesla for years, based in part on the company's work to bring down the costs of battery production. He says, at some point we will. We have enough on our plate right now, too much, frankly. Near the end of the call, Musk was asked about how Tesla plans to sell more cars without affordable option, to which he responded, if the price of our cars do not change at all, we will still sell at that we can make. So, yeah, there's a little bit of development issues there, but it's more in terms of also parts. If you're going to release a new vehicle, it needs to have a sufficient number of spare parts. And to produce a sufficient number of spare parts, they have to take workforce away from the original vehicle output. So to maintain high vehicle output, they've decided to postpone any new vehicle launches this year, probably make time to produce the parts and produce the spares and make sure that the funnel and the system in place to deliver those spares and parts to relevant distributors across the world where Tesla cars are going to be their main priority probably this year, on top of producing their vehicles. But I was personally very excited about the Cybertruck. It looks like a Batmobile. It just really does. Remember Hot Wheels?
Yes.
If Hot Wheels released a futuristic car, it would probably look like this, in my opinion. So I thought that was very interesting, and we'll see what happens on the Tesla bandwagon this year as battery production issues are quite afoot, and chips are also in a shortage.
Is there still a chip shortage?
There's still a chip shortage.
Is it ever going to end?
Companies, you see, with any increase in demand, companies do set up businesses and side chains of their business to manufacture their own chips. I think Samsung's doing it, and that could play a role in the available chips, but it's very difficult because modernization of technology, chips are required in almost everything, and they're going to be required in more things as time goes on. So it's really a time will tell kind of scenario. But do you want to hear something incredibly insane?
Of course.
So we know about telecoms, Vodacom, MTN, Cell C, and we know how they provide their services. They have infrastructure, they have cell phone towers, they have 5G towers, they have all of this various infrastructure in order to maintain the network. But the telecom giants have now banded together to fight vandalism after nearly 300 million rand in damages in 2021. 300 million rand in damages. So the theft and vandalism of telecommunications infrastructure in 2021 cost the country's major phone operators an estimate 280 million, according to the new formed Communication Risk Information Center, or COMRIC. The initiative has been established by mobile phone companies in a bid to find collective ways to safeguard the rampant scourge of infrastructure damage. MTN, Vodacom, Telkom, Cell C, and Liquid have all joined the initiative. According to Ronald Miller, the COMRIC Chief Executive Officer, there has been 15,759 incidents of vandalism of network sites in the past year alone, something he attributed to the economic impact of COVID-19. Another contributing factor is believed to be load shedding, which leaves parts of the country in darkness and more vulnerable to crime.
And then the people steal those batteries, they go for big bucks on the market.
They big advanced tech.
They can power your whole neighborhood.
Absolutely. And they're stealing cables. They're stealing metal infrastructure. They're stealing batteries. And I thought about it to myself. I was like, there's 365 odd days in a month. In a year. And of that, there's been 15,759 incidents. Can you imagine just trying to handle over 20 incidents a day for a year straight of vandalism and theft and infrastructure damage? And that's why they form these kind of alliances to try and distinguish themselves from the problem and formulate a solution.
I heard it's so bad they actually had to appoint guards from local security companies to man the base stations.
You have to. Absolutely. It's dangerous.
That's a lot of money as well.
Oh, no, it's huge money. And you'll see how much they're planning to invest, not necessarily into this initiative, but into this year, financially, how much they're willing to invest. So, last year, Vodacom, which is the country's largest cellular network, said it planned to invest over 10 billion rand in its local network infrastructure as the future of communication moves towards data-driven services. As well, MTN, which also has a larger foot on the African continent and as a whole, said in March last year it earmarked 29.1 billion for its network, fintech and digital service platforms for the year.
Sure.
I mean, they're putting money in.
Big money.
It's not a little bit of money. And I mean, 300 million in light of that is not that much in terms of damage. But realistically, it's only going to get worse if left untreated. People are going to understand this as a form of revenue for themselves, especially the malicious intenders and the criminals, and the guys that do this know that if they break the infrastructure or they steal from the infrastructure will be repaired and they can then go and steal it again. So it is a very important thing to embark on.
Kaine, what have you got for us after the music break?
I have something very, very interesting. So VW and Bosch team up to make driverless cars.
Some more driverless cars.
Yeah.
This is getting scary.
This is where it's going to get interesting. This is in South Africa. And Microsoft's $22 billion army goggles still aren't combat ready. And we'll talk about when they started that and how it's going and what it's for.
Can I ask you a question?
Ask me.
When last did you check your spam folder?
I think I'm the type of guy who goes occasionally to his spam folder and just deletes everything without even looking.
Okay, so you don't read it?
No.
Okay. So that's a problem because you could be a lotto winner.
Why? What happened?
So this lady, a 55-year-old lady from Michigan in America, in the United States, she checked her mail. She was looking for a specific email which she couldn't find. So she went into a junk mail or spam folder, and then she found the email, but she also found something else. She found an email saying she won $5 million
on the lotto.
In the lotto, yes, which she entered a week or two before that.
And they sent that via email.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that here in South Africa. But anyway, it went into spam. But I think, with reason, because look at all the stuff we get every day.
Yeah.
Like somebody's writing, "Hello, I'm your distant cousin, and you won. You got some money from your distant
5 times removed flippin' great uncle who died in World War II."
Yes, all you need to do is click on this link and enter your password and we'll steal your money.
Well, you know what, winning $5 million in the lotto, finding it in the spam folder is one thing, but when you consider that email address that sent that email is obviously a legitimate email, but to get into a spam folder you have to be reported as spam by other users. So how many other people saw an email saying they won the lotto and moved it to spam? That is my question.
But now I'm wondering, because I sent some emails out recently, and 2 people said they found me in their spam. So I'm like, who reported me as spam? I'm offended. Somebody reported me as spam.
Do you have any kind of frequent emails that go out from that email address? Newsletters,
just the usual,
bulk stuff? Nothing, just personal, person-to-person communication.
Yeah.
And it went to spam.
Somebody is probably just, I'm telling you, it was a hater.
It was a hater.
A hater's gonna hate. The haters did it. That's all I'm saying.
You're trying to collect money and they just said, you put them in the spam folder.
Yeah.
No, that's incredible. Imagine actually seeing that and waking up one day and reading your spam folder and it says you won the lotto and you're like, maybe I need the money, let me just find out. And then you're like, oh my word, I actually won.
But now she's going to share the money, and she's also going to go into early retirement.
She's going to share the money?
Yes, with family.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. But I'll put my hand up, if you're giving, I'm taking.
Yes, but you know what, check with that being said, check your spam, but also we're not encouraging you to enter into any scams.
No.
Don't blame us now saying that you thought you won the lotto and then they took all your money because you clicked on some weird stuff. You got to be so careful with it, eh?
Yeah.
Even the real, they make it look so real.
Yeah.
The logos, even the domain.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh wait, there's a little different letter there somewhere.
Something
is different in the domain, and that's how they get you. But it looks real. It's the real logo, everything. The same is happening with Capitec Bank.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think their security is very great, to be very honest. I'm a new Capitec user, and there's a lot of people who are scammed so easily with their banking. But it's on social media. They've got the support group. And then this person contacts you, but it looks like the bank and everything. It looks like the real bank and everything, and it hasn't been reported. And then they tell you, no, it's fine. We saw that you have a problem on the wall of the other page. Let us help you. Just give us your username and your password and all that stuff. And then you give it to them. Fill it into a Google form, for God's sakes, with the Capitec logo. And then also, like, you submit it, and then 5 minutes later, pew, your money's gone.
Drained.
Your money is gone.
That's insane. So the thing with those is, especially with Capitec, it's like trying to secure a fortress, right?
Yeah.
You can build the highest, thickest walls all around, but if one of your guards happens to walk to the entrance and someone knocks on the other side and says, "Hey, it's the king, let me in," and he opens the door, you know what's going to happen. You're in trouble. So the problem is they don't target the bank security because they know the bank security is good. They target the users who are misinformed or easily, manipulated or led to believe one thing when another thing is in place, or just inexperienced in tech and social media who go out and do these things. And for Capitec, can you imagine trying to stop it from happening?
Yeah, it must be difficult.
If you've ever made an online purchase with Capitec with your card, sometimes you actually have to go into the app and approve it. That's the one feature that they've added. They've also got, sometimes when you're trying to log into internet banking, you actually have to prove the login on the app as well.
And you can switch off the internet banking as well on the app, so that you only use the app. I think that's quite cool.
And the nice thing is, what I realize is a very good thing from the Capitec side, is you can actually create what's called a virtual card within your Capitec app.
I've got one.
And you know what I did? I was like in December mode, so I wanted to sign up for some online gaming stuff, Xbox Origin, get the premium, spend a couple $100. I think it was like a total like 600, 700 rand, but they were recurring subscriptions. So what I did is I created a virtual card, took out the 1 month subscription, and then instead of going to each one and cancelling it, I did is close the virtual card.
Is that quite easy?
It was.
Can you just
10 seconds?
Apparently you can instantly swap it and get a new one.
10
is that
seconds
true?
And create a new one right after it. And it's not to do anything malicious, but it's a great way to say, okay, anything that's coming off of this card, just stop it. I'll reactivate what subscriptions I want to reactivate on my new virtual card. And if my financial situation changes, I'll add more to the virtual card. And if it's a negative change, I will stop the virtual card.
Just like that, you delete the virtual card and then you save.
Seconds.
So don't use your main account for
not
those,
your main card.
No. Okay, now I've got the virtual card, but I was wondering how quickly can you swap it out?
Quick.
You say it's instant without going into the bank.
It'll be under a minute on your app. And I did it yesterday, actually. Because I didn't want those subscriptions going off. 800 rand a month's a lot.
I love that. That's a great feature.
That's a flipping amazing feature.
Just like that. You don't even have to go into the bank or anything.
And it works. It was so funny, actually, because I went to the bank to get a new card because my card was turning into like a flippin' hobo. It was so broken and bent. And I was like, I went to the bank to reverse a debit order the one time, and I said, okay, well, just give me a new card. So I got the new card, and I tried to use the online banking, but the limits they set up for me didn't allow me to make a purchase online. And instead of having to go and change the limits and risk people, potentially, because you want to keep your card actually low as limits as possible, so that if anything happens, you don't take a massive loss. So instead of going and upping my limits, I created a virtual card. And I used that, and it worked.
And even there, you can set limits.
Yeah, you can set.
But you know what happened to me?
What?
Because we keep the limits low, like you said, to save it. But one day I was overspending a bit, and I went above the 500 rand limit, which I said. And then the problem was I couldn't pay it because it kept declining, and I forgot about the limit.
Oh, so you thought, what?
And then I was inside a shopping center where there was no cell reception, so I couldn't log into the bank to change the limit quickly. So that was me stranded there. So I had to leave it, go outside, far outside, because in the malls with all the steel and the structures, the cell phone signals don't easily get in there, and you don't have windows.
A friend of mine told me the other day that Fitbit, you can set up, it has an RFID card, so you can actually set up payments to go off of the Fitbit.
Oh wow.
So you just tap your Fitbit on the thing and it works. It doesn't work if your limits are reached though, which is actually, a virtual card wouldn't help you in that scenario. But what I like about a virtual card is if I'm using it for online purchases and stuff like that I want to be able to be cancelled at any given time, I don't actually carry around a physical card. So it's not possible for someone to steal my wallet.
Exactly.
They will steal the wallet with a card with low limits on. Mm-hmm. And that's much more advantage.
And then they still need the PIN.
Yeah, exactly. So do you want to hear about VW partnering with Bosch to create some driverless cars soon?
Just before you do that, I wanted to ask you one more thing. How do you feel about tap and go?
Tap and go? Mm-hmm. The card tap?
Yep.
Love it.
But don't you think it's a bit unsafe?
It is, but card limits.
Okay, so the limits, you need to have your limits set.
I have a 500 rand limit on my tap.
Yeah,
so I'll lose 500 rand if someone were to steal it and go bounce around. But at the end of the day, it is so seamless. And the one thing I really didn't like, especially during COVID times with PIN entering.
Exactly, you have to touch those buttons.
A lot of people touched.
Exactly.
There's no doubt in my mind.
That's exactly what I was going to say now. Yeah. It's just a quick swipe. And out you go.
That's the biggest benefit.
No touching buttons or anything.
And
I agree.
If COVID wasn't here, I wouldn't really care because I would prefer to keep the security of entering a PIN. But when I'd create a health security,
exactly,
I'd rather just tap and keep my limits low. You know, and you don't actually end up tapping that much. You might go to the grocery store, every day or two. Yeah. And even if it doesn't tap anymore, you can insert it into your PIN as a last resort. So I like it for that. What I am nervous about is Bosch and VW building driverless cars. So Volkswagen and parts supplier Bosch have embarked on an extensive partnership to bring automated driving to the mass market by next year. The German companies announced it this week. Bosch and VW software subsidiary Carrid are aiming to make functions available that will allow drivers to temporarily take their hands off the steering wheel in vehicles sold under the Volkswagen Group brand, according to a statement. These will range from so-called hands-free systems for urban and motorway driving to a system that takes over all driving functionalities on the motorway. The first of these functions are to be installed in 2023. It will also be possible to integrate the component parts delivered by the alliance into vehicles made by other car makers as well. So you have a VW engine in a different car. You have some driverless functionality. So the main focus of the project will be data-driven software development on the basis of information from a 360-degree surround sensing. And I'm excited and I'm nervous, and it's like a Tesla at part 2. You know, Tesla was nerve-wracking when they released their driverless technology because Tesla was new to their industry and new to driverless technology, but they've come a long way. VW's now new to the industry and they'll have their own growing pains along the way. It makes me nervous thinking about all the potential accidents, but I'm also excited for the technological advancements. Yeah,
I still want the override button, like I said last time, because it's just too risky.
Yeah, I just keep your hands on the wheel.
If somebody hacks it, you know.
There's no what do you want to do without your hands on the wheel? It's for the future generation because I can't take my hands off the wheel. I would just feel too nervous, even trusting it on the hands of a car. So Microsoft's new multifunction goggle system for the US Army is showing promise, but the $22 billion program isn't ready yet for combat deployment, according to the Pentagon's test office. So the contract was awarded to Microsoft in 2018, but they say the system has not yet demonstrated the capability to serve as a fighting goggle, according to non-public assessment by the Pentagon's Director of Operational Testing that was sent to the Army for review. The report on the Integrated Visual Augmentation System, or IVAS, will be made public in the office's upcoming annual report. The program by Redmond, Washington-based company, aims to develop a heads-up display for U.S. ground forces similar to those for fighter pilots. The system, a customized version of Microsoft's HoloLens goggles, would let commanders project information onto a visor in front of soldiers' face and would include other features such as night vision. And it's crazy to think that to create something like this is a $22 billion contract. You know, that's a lot of money, and all for US ground forces military equipment. And these goggles, I can imagine a futuristic type environment with goggles like these, being able to receive information and commands from a commander directly on your visual HUD, being able to switch between night vision and daytime vision, probably even other features, such as infrared or heat sensing technology, even on-screen heads-up display for navigational purposes as well. There's so much application behind it, but that being said, they've been at it since 2018. And it still isn't a reality. It's not easy to do. Microsoft is spearheading the initiative, but unfortunately it has not passed, minimum viable capabilities yet, but it has demonstrated growth capabilities. So I'm interested to see that little toy come to market. You won't see me walking around with one, but if I ever join the army, I'm going to say I will only join the army if I may use your visor goggles. You know, that's going to be my one thing that I will say. But onto other news and something a little bit interesting. So a SpaceX Falcon rocket stage, so a stage of a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket will be slamming into the moon on the 4th of March.
Oh, is that now finally it?
Yeah, the moon's spacecraft graveyard will soon welcome another body. SpaceX will reach the surface of the moon a bit ahead of schedule, it turns out. Elon Musk's company is providing the landing systems for the first crewed touchdown of NASA's Artemis lunar exploration program, a milestone that the agency hopes to achieve in 2025. But a piece of SpaceX hardware will hit the grey dirt far sooner than that, in just a few weeks. Satellite trackers have determined that the upper stage of a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket that launched in February of 2015, it's been spinning around for 7 years, will slam into the moon on March 4th. On Monday, March 4th. The observers were led by Bill Gray, who runs Project Pluto, a company that supplies software to professional and amateur astronomers. And that's going to be slamming into the moon at quite a speed.
Can't wait.
I wonder if I'll see it from my phone camera.
Have you seen the movie on Netflix called Don't Look Up?
Yes. It's dark. I don't know.
But you know what? People watch it. You know, the one with Ariana Grande and all that kind of stuff, and Tyler Perry, and it's a lot of Leonardo DiCaprio, of course.
Yes.
But you know, people watch it very seriously. Apparently, it's all satire.
Yeah, it is.
You shouldn't watch it too seriously because oh no, this movie. Oh, Meryl Streep as well. Oh no, this movie's terrible. But you know,
it's
watch
like
it again.
Humor,
watch it again, but from a satire point of view.
Yeah.
It's actually quite brilliant.
I watched a few episodes, definitely. You've heard about NFTs, right?
Yes.
We've spoken about NFTs.
Yes.
Also, last year we spoke about what will happen when mainstream companies start utilizing NFTs, and people like Ubisoft were announced to be utilizing it, and other big players released some sort of NFT in the past. You know, you got the worldwide open web software that was released as an every NFT. You have Tory Lanez, they released an album as an NFT and made $1 million. All these NFTs coming out, and now we're seeing some big players coming into the space. So here's why Twitter and Facebook are interested in NFTs. So this week, thousands of Twitter users' profile pictures turned from a circular to a hexagonal as the social media app began supporting NFTs. Meanwhile, Facebook also and sister company Instagram are working on a feature that will let users display NFTs as part of their profiles. NFTs, for those who managed to avoid learning about them until now, are unique digital tokens inscribed on a permanent digital ledger called a blockchain that serve as proof of ownership of some digital goods. It's like owning a picture of the Mona Lisa, and the NFT is your proof of ownership, your certificate of authenticity.
That's it, yeah.
Now, those NFT-backed avatars will show up on Twitter in hexagonal form to differentiate them from ordinary profile pictures, and clicking on them will pull up a page that displays their bona fides, including their blockchain address and creator's identity. What that means is you might go out and buy a $100,000 NFT. They are real, they exist. And you can go put that NFT as a profile photo on Twitter, and it's an authentic NFT. So you have a little bit of bragging rights. You know, people want this. But it's only for blue tickers. It's only for Twitter blue tickers.
So you need to be verified.
You need to have a blue tick. And it's difficult to get a blue tick.
Can you tell us one day how to get verified, how to get a blue tick?
We can cover it on a tech show, definitely.
Yeah, I want to know how to do that. Yeah, I think you need to be very present on the web and all over Google and all that stuff.
Absolutely,
get it, right?
Absolutely. And then in the same week, Reddit comes out and they say Reddit is testing the ability to use NFTs as profile pictures as well. So Reddit is basically going to be integrating a similar functionality as Twitter into your profile photos, and probably even a catalog of the NFTs you could potentially own, just giving you those bragging rights, which is a big thing because you're spending a lot of money on these NFTs and you want to be able to brag about them.
Yeah.
But probably the most predominant person to enter the space this week in regards to NFTs is Lamborghini.
Whoa!
Lamborghini is releasing an NFT, and it's today. It's today. And they're releasing a few of them and they're auctioning them off. So Lamborghini is accelerating into the world of blockchain with its release of its first NFT. The Italian automaker, which is in the midst of an ambitious shift to hybrid and electric sports cars, announced that it would auction off a series of NFTs that are produced in collaboration with Swiss artist Fabian Oifner. as well as NFT Pro and Sotheby's. Images depict a Lamborghini breaking down into its core components as it rockets through the inky blackness of space. It's less amateurish in its design than many of the more popular NFTs, like the Bored Ape series, which raises questions to how it will be received by the crypto community. Lamborghini is fully embracing the astronautical theme, and the auction for the first of the 5 NFTs will take place on nft.lamborghini.com starting at 4 p.m. CET, while each of the other auctions will start and end 15 minutes later than each preceding one. Every auction will last for 75 hours and 50 minutes, the exact time it took Apollo 11 to leave Earth and enter the moon's orbit. How flippin' cool. Do you want to see a picture of what this NFT looks like?
Yes.
Take a look at this. So it looks like a Lamborghini kind of breaking up into tiny microparticles of a Lamborghini kind of shooting out of Earth's atmosphere. You can see the Earth in the corner there as it travels into the darkness of space. And it kind of looks like, the bottom of the Lamborghini almost shattering.
Yes, it looks like it's shattering.
Pieces. And you best believe those NFTs are going to go for a lot of money.
You must put that photo below the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We'll put links to it. And that kind of summarizes the NFT updates, which I think it's amazing to see big spaces like this coming into it. It definitely is going to harbor some growth aspects for the NFT industry in general. And as a last closing item for the day, outside of Hawaii releasing their folding phone, so Huawei is coming out to the folding phone, not too much other than that. It's not like Samsung. Samsung has like a screen on both sides of the folding phone. This one is kind of like a clamshell design with a little
At least it's not a flip phone.
It is. It's a folding phone.
But it's not like an old flip phone.
Motorola.
Remember those? Yeah.
No, nothing like that. Thank goodness. But they recently ran some scientists ran some artificial intelligence programs across the surface of Antarctica to try and find potential undiscovered space rocks or meteorites. And they've seen that it potentially harbors 300,000 undiscovered space rocks or meteorites. So the program suggests that there may be hundreds or thousands of meteorites left for scientists to discover on the icy fields of Antarctica, and reveals what may be the most likely places to unearth them. This is quite exciting because it's really a peer into the history books of the evolution of the entire universe, and the formations of our solar system. Nearly 2/3 of all meteorites recovered on Earth originate in Antarctica. The cold, dry nature of the frozen continent helps preserve these extraterrestrial rocks, and the dark colors of these stones makes them stand out against the ice and snow. Meteorites were originally part of planetary bodies, and so these space rocks from the bottom of the world have yielded many valuable clues about the nature and origins and evolution of the rest of the solar system. Now that's fantastic, except for the fact that there's an Antarctic treaty and you may not travel to Antarctica, which is so unfortunate because I'd be there with my gloves, spade and snorkel gear, to go find some space rocks. But it's very cool that they're using tech to help discover these things, and not some special magnifying glass. Artificial intelligence that constantly is learning and could provide humans with clues. It's like finding a treasure map, but we're using technology that we created to build the treasure map to locations we don't know exist. I think it's so cool. It's so cool to hear stuff like this and see it coming out in the tech world. That's something I think is to be excited about, because what could you find? What could you find? Yeah. That's the question. And that's what they're going to be looking at.
Very good question.
We might cover some more meteorite discoveries in this year. We'll see what happens.
Awesome. Kaine, lastly, are you making new videos on YouTube?
I am.
Where can we find you?
We're picking up a couple hundred subscribers a week at this current time.
That's good.
It's looking fantastic. You can just go onto YouTube and type Brokaine, Brokaine, and you'll find my YouTube channel, where we have quite an elaborate content plan that'll be deployed throughout 2022, starting on February 1st.
Good. I can hear you all planned.
Yeah,
we're ready for that.
We're ready.
Yeah, you need to plan it. It's very good. Well, that's it. So that's a wrap for another techPLUS for this week. Luckily, it's not too hot like last week. Remember last week?
Yeah, no. Sunday last week melted me through the floor. I came home a puddle. A warm puddle.
Absolutely. Kaine, as always, thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day and also your weekend.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on the Tech Show today. I'll see you next week, where hopefully 2022 warms up even more in the tech industry.
Can't wait. Oh, that will be our first one for February, of course.
It will.
This is the final one for January.
The pilot for February.
Yeah.
Remember the date.
Lekker.
Next week.
Yeah.
See you guys there.
Cheers, Kaine.
Cheers, everyone.
Thanks, man. Bye.
Bye-bye.